Today we're back at Twin Lakes. We're going to be walking the lower lake today. So lower lake's down there. Path, it's a loop. It's about 1.5 miles long. So a little further than the upper lake. It's about 80 degrees right now. It's supposed to get up to about 91. Real feel of 97. So I'm gonna try and get this walk in before it gets too warm out today. So there's a tree with like purplish leaves. Kind of stands out against the rest of the background, right? So kind of interested to know what tree that is. There's like a plank nailed up against the tree. So I'm not sure exactly what that's for, if that might be a sign that they're gonna make at some point. So this is the backside of the lower lake. There'll be a couple viewpoints off to the right that we'll be able to walk out into as we go. Just forest to the left and right here for now. There should be a geocache up here also, so this will be our first geocache find on this channel. So looking forward to that when we get close. The trail goes back in here, almost just looks like a pipeline going up in there. Out in the distance there you can see the theater stage where people sometimes do performances. We'll get over there eventually and get a better view of it, but this is just a view from the wood side. A lot of people out today, so a little bit harder to film, but still makes for a nice walk this morning. There's like these white flowers growing in the middle of this area. Just thought that was interesting. And you'll notice you hear a lot of jogging behind me. Seems like there's a whole track team out here today training. This is a really nice place to go out for a run. We should be approaching that geocache sometime soon. I'm gonna have to check and see if we're getting close. So down in here, looks to be a nice view of the lake, if we can get down in. There's this nice little area here where we can view the lower lake. Lots of dragonflies below here. Way off in the distance, there's a bridge that we'll be crossing in just a little bit. So this is the lower lake. Trying to zoom in on the dragonfly activity a little bit. So for those of you who aren't familiar, geocaching is basically like a treasure hunt for adults and for kids. And you go out and you find the coordinates. You get the coordinates from a mobile app, or you can find them online on the geocaching website. You go and you locate where the coordinates are, and then you look for the geocache. A lot of times it's hidden, sometimes it's under rocks, sometimes it's surrounded by sticks, or just tucked away where it's difficult to find. So let's go see if we can find it. You'll be able to see from the coordinates I just put up on the screen, the picture, that we're approaching it. We are the blue dot that's on that picture, and we're going towards the geocache. Looks like there's another trail down here into the lake area. So let's go down and take a look. So this particular geocache is called She Said Yes, and someone proposed at this spot based on the name of the geocache. Geocaches have names. The creator will name their geocache, and the idea is that geocaches are put, sometimes in places for sentimental values, but a lot of time they're put in place for scenic views or different kind of looks. In this case, I'm guessing it's both a view and for sentimental reasons. Down here we have another trail leading off into the lake. So hard to see here, but there is a big cobweb right here, and just trying to get it in focus, but looks very cool. Strung across this path down towards the lake, so we're gonna duck under this cobweb. See some people out there biking in the distance. Someone brought their dog. So the lower lake seems to be a little more nature oriented than the upper lake. And now you can see that the blue dot is where we're at, and we're much closer to the cache now. So once we get right up on it, we'll start looking around for it. Oh, this is pretty cool. There's a path leading off the trail here that splits into two for two different views of the lake. So let's go take a look at each. There's the first. And this is the second view. I'm about to put a log up of the current findings of the geocache. You can go on the site, and if you find it, you put up that you found it, and it'll register the date that you found it. And if you can't find it, you put up, hey, I can't find this, and you'll see that the owner should come and maintenance it, and it should be back up to find. And in our case, this one was, I guess someone took it or something happened to it, so the owner came and put a new geocache in its spot. Still the same spot, so that's what we're searching for. It looks like it was found just a couple days ago. And where this V in the trail is here is about 32 feet from the cache, so we're gonna take a look around for it. So, not sure if this comes up on the video or not, but there's a huge cobweb amongst these sticks right here. So, as it turns out, we're pretty much underneath this gigantic tree here. You can see the roots go into the ground. We're pretty much at the roots. And over here is the geocache. Very cool place to hide a geocache, kind of out here underneath this tree. So this is where they proposed. And just a gigantic tree. And then behind us is the lake. So I would imagine when looking for geocaches to hunt, or especially if you're looking for a place for a geocache to hide, you want to look for somewhere that's as cool as this place. So you can see here, this one looks like it's by Scott Roman at gmail.com. This is the official geocache, and inside there's a notebook and what looks like to be a pen and pencil to sign, so we're going to sign this. And inside looks like the initial person put follow your heart, and then it was found on 7/20, 7/22, and today is 7/23, so we'll put in there we found it. And now that we've dated it and signed it, we're going to close it and put it back in and re-hide it just as well as we found it, so the next person can have fun looking for it. Right, so we've tucked that back up in the tree trunk, and time to get back on the trail. Down in here looks to be a very nice sandy area, so we're gonna go down in here and take a look at the lake view. In other news, there's a tree back in there near the cache that's making this very loud creaking sound. I haven't heard a tree do that before, but it's just making a very loud creaking sound. Not sure if it's old or what the scenario is, but kind of spooky, so we're moving on here. All right, so back up this path and onto the trail. Kind of hard to see, but it's like doing stairs here. We're getting to a point now where you can see it's similar to the upper lake, where the lake turns into kind of a swampy, marshy area. So we're gonna walk back behind this area, not through it, just back behind it, and then we'll come out on the other side and it should be wide open lake. So there is a trail back in here that ventures off the regular path, the walking path. Looks like it goes up that hill back there. So we'll come back and definitely take a look at that trail on a day that's a little bit cooler out. But yeah, let's head back down the woods walking path here. Major tree trunk here. So now we're pretty much on the back half of the lake, the complete opposite side of where we started. And once we go out here through this into the sunlight on the other side, the lake will open up, or the trees will open up, and we'll get some really good views of the lower lake. This is not the lake, but I thought the water just looked very clear here. So pretty nice to film. Another trail, looks like maybe utility path or something goes back in there. Definitely something that I'd be interested in exploring at some point, as long as it stays on the Twin Parks land, and just seeing where it goes. So just taking notes of the different side paths here for some future adventures. There's a little creek flowing down through here out of the lower lake. I'm not sure if it's out of or into it. I think it's out of, but it's hard to tell from here. It's about 10 feet down. You probably noticed I'm filming the trail a little more now. I think the track team that was running it is pretty much done. So less people, more trail. And up here, you can see the woods are clearing up, and we're heading towards the large bridge and the different buildings and areas on the open side of the lake. All right, we're out of the woodsy section. There's a path that leads up to a parking lot there. And we're opening up into a view of the lower lake. And down there's, looks like a maintenance shed. And up here's the bridge and spillway. You can see there's not a ton of water going through the spillway today. There are some big wasps on this bridge, so probably won't be sticking around this area too long, but I wanted to get some good footage of the bridge. You can see the water coming from the lake into the spillway, and it then comes down over here, goes under the road, and goes into a little river area. And down over there is the spillway. Here are the lakes you can rent. You can see some paddle boats out there. I think there's some rowboat type of things, maybe a canoe that you can rent over from the store on the left hand side here. And to the right, the place with that white roof is the pavilion. I think they call it an amphitheater, where different bands will play sometimes. Down in here we have some cattails. Look a little bit like corn dogs. Now, I don't know the exact parts, so don't quote me and don't try it, but I think there's certain parts of the cattail that you can eat. I do not know which parts they are, so definitely something to look up on Google. but I think there's certain parts of that you can eat if you really want to. And up here's a little kind of archway. You can see specifically interested on the sign over here to the left. Says Lower Lake is about 1.5 miles long, this Lower Lake loop. It used to be a sign of some sort. Can't read what it says. Almost looks like it says William and the word official under it, but not sure what that's relating to. Now we're about 3/4 of the way around this Lower Lake. See, it's a pretty nice day out. Lots of people out fishing, just enjoying the sunlight. All right, and we made it to kind of a parking lot area. We got a little shop here selling fish bait, some different foods. Restroom area. Off in the distance there is a little Crabtree Creek Trail. We'll be taking that on bike in one of our other trips here. You can see this is where the paddle boats and rowboats and stuff are rented from. Another dragonfly down in here. There's a building up here to our left, has some fun paintings on it. So we'll take a look up there, then we'll go explore down by the lake. So this is that building. You can see there's some different fun paintings on this building. There's a cat. This one looks a bit abstract. And the third one has like a dragon on it. Way out there in the distance, you can see the bridge we went across a while ago. And this is the stage area where bands play, different entertainment. They got no fishing signs on it. We'll just kind of take a look from here. sign says for the Westmoreland Arts and Heritage Festival is what this stage was made for, and that's held once a year around here. And a bunch of different vendors from all over show up, and it takes up quite a bit of the park. Up on the hillside in the background there is where we started. It's like a boardwalk area up here to the left. You can see people walking on. We're gonna head over there and check that out too. All right, so this is the boardwalk area. Got a little bit closer to the geese here, still on the boardwalk. Alright, and then up here's the pavilion area. Checking out the pavilion area. I know there's some larger wasps in here, but checking it out anyways. And there's a little hole into the middle of the pavilion. And all right, and we're on the other side of the pavilion, heading back up towards the hill where we started. Still in the lower lake, just kind of took a short detour off to a side path of the lower lake. And this is just the small kind of gravel path that we took as a detour to get to that side area of the lake. See, there's another tiny path to our left here that just connects to the road. It's right up there and the lake area again. So we're heading back down here onto the Lake Loop Trail and finishing up. Back on the trail. It's probably the biggest tree we've seen today. Nice shot of the boardwalk there on the right also. You can see a little waterfall area at the spillway there where it comes down into this pond. You can also see some fishing lines hanging up in the trees. Looks like people were trying to fish in here. I think I have a video of this from the winter time, so I'm gonna cut to that. Right, and up on our right's the hill where we started, and coming up here there's some stairs on our left, or like a zigzag path on our right. The zigzag path is handicap accessible, which is why that's there. We'll get the view of the zigzag path from the top of this area. So this is the spillway area. I believe I have some shots from winter time as well here, so I'm gonna add those in. It's actually, the water's so low, we can actually walk down here. Just getting up close. You can see it flows down into that pond where that little waterfall was. Right, and we pretty much completed the loop of the lake. Right there where the folks are walking is where we started, and down here is that zigzag path towards the lower lake. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.